Okay, in this video, we are going to walk all the way through the form creation from start to finish where we have the final approval go through. And a few things we want to change from the last video. We want to change a couple of the groups. We want to say the principals group isn't an all group. We want the user to select their principal. And we can look and see and make sure that all the principals that are there are the ones we want. There's Terry, Jude, and John. That's the ones we want. And so we'll say update flow. And so after the principals fill out and they approve, after one of the principals approves the request, it'll then go to human resources. And we're okay with that being the all group. That's just fine. But after human resources, we don't want payroll to be the all group. We want human resources to select multiple users from the payroll group. Let's make sure it has multiple users. So we'll say select multiple, meaning that human resources knows which users need to get this, and so they could select all three of them, one of them, or two of them. So we'll update this flow as well, and then we'll go back as a user, and we will fill out a new form. So we're going to go back, we're going to put in an email address, and we're going to put it different. We're going to be, our hobbies are sports, and obviously we want to be a professional athlete. The difference now is that we will select from a list of who we want to approve this. This is a nice little feature. You can very quickly and easily, when you type in there, select the supervisor or the person from the list, and you could do this just by typing. So if I wanted to do Terry, I could start typing Terry. If I wanted to do Jude, I would start typing Jude. If you have a big long list of people, you can do John S, and it'll get to them very quickly. And all you have to do is hit enter, and it will pop that in there. So let's send this to John Smith, and we'll select there, and now you'll see we have several requests in here. This is going to show who it's pending on. We talked about this in the last video, so it's not pertinent here. Let's go over as John Smith, and we'll refresh so that the pending on page gets updated. We'll go to this. And since we talked about the previous button options in the other video, we'll just hit approve. You don't have to put notes in this case if you don't want to. It's not required for approving, but we'll put notes anyways. Go ahead. I love you. I don't know if that's appropriate for a form, but whatever. This is my video. Okay, so now you'll notice that it just put it right back in here. The reason for that is we're John Smith, and if we look at the form, John Smith is also in human resources, and it was sending to all, so that's why we have it. So let's go look at it. So now we're in as a human resource employee. We only have 3 buttons. We don't have send back to user because in the previous, I'm just bouncing between these pages, that's okay. On human resources, we only allowed for these 3 buttons. We did not allow them to send back to user. If we wanted to change that, we could click that and update it, and it would change it. But let's not do that now. Close this out. So here we are, and we're just going to approve this as well, and we're going to send it to the payroll department. Now you'll notice that the who should approve is on there, and we have the 3 people that were in payroll, and we actually want to grab a couple of them. We're going to send to Dan, and we're going to send to John. We don't need to send to example user. If we wanted to remove someone, we could hit the X or just click their name again, but we'll leave those 2 in there. And we'll add our approval. We'll say, please approve. Actually, this is payroll, so we'll say, please pay for this. And we'll approve it. And it's still in here again because we're John Smith. We're logged in as John Smith, although in most cases it wouldn't be the same person throughout the process. It would be different people. So let's assume we're logged in as payroll now. We can see all the information that the user filled out. We can see the notes. Go ahead, we love you. We were asked to pay for this. Even at this point, so because the options were set this way, we could send back, we could request information from the user, we could deny it. If you didn't want payroll to be able to deny, you wanted only human resources to deny, you could set that up in the flow page. We won't do that right here. So before we approve, I just want to show what it looks like on the user side so they can see who all this has gone through. So here's our form that we filled out. It's still pending. It was last updated 43 seconds ago. This is a nice feature. It lets them know how long ago it was updated. And here's where we can see who it's pending on. You can kind of see the process. So the first principal, I know it's kind of confusing because it's the same person, but so the principal was John Smith. They approved it. and it went to Human Resources, where John Smith got it and approved it. And when John Smith approved it in Human Resources, he then sent it to the 2 users in payroll, Dan and John. So we can see that it's unprocessed and it's still pending. So let's go back and approve this all the way through. You bet. Now, when I hit approve, everyone that touched this request will get a notification via email that it has been approved. So the principal will get it, Human Resources employee will get it, sent it through John Smith again in this case, and click approve. And what this is going to do is it will take us to our message center where we don't have any messages. It will email everyone involved in this flow, and at that point it's finalized. And this is where we can plug it into other pieces of software such as Power Schools, Ace Web, Business Plus, so that we don't have to do so much typing. If you want, we can go over here real quick and we can take a look at the My Request page, and we can see that the test form we filled out was approved. It was approved 24 seconds ago. We can look at our requests and see all of the text that was on there, all the notes, and we can view the process and see who it went through. Again, this doesn't look very impressive because it's all John Smith's, so that's because that's who we use to approve. But each one of these would be the person that approved it: principal, Human Resources, payroll, something like that. That should be about it. Thanks for watching these videos. Please reach out to us if you have any questions.